The human brain is a marvel of creation, intricately designed to seek meaning and connection. During Ramadan, this quest for spiritual fulfillment is heightened. Fasting activates areas of the brain that are associated with empathy, self control, and reflection. Join us this Thursday at 6:15 p.m. for an enlightening lecture by Dr. Daniel Abdulrahman McBride on the fascinating connection between the brain, religion, and Ramadan.
Woke, woke. There are so many things going on around. You must take heed. It's been written and prophesied about, so you must believe. Not everything that glitters is gold. Pay attention as it's been told. Join us every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, with Brother Yusuf as he tackles and breaks down current events, current news, and politics, and the Islamic Ummah. Please join us, streaming on all major platforms. Channel SunnahFollowers.
Okay, sorry. Oh. In alhamdulillah, wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our series on how to perform the prayer. And again, everything that we do as Muslims, we're supposed to perform the actions of worship and our actions, regular actions too. Everything that we do should be in accordance to the Quran and the Sunnah. And this is something that has become strange today. Right as I was getting the PowerPoint together for this class, one of the new shahadas had texted me and she asked me, she said, why is it that it's people, alhamdulillah, she's learning the religion here at SunnahFollowers. She's learning her aqidah and how to pray and everything that I'm teaching here, which is what you need to learn in order to be a Muslim. And she said the people around her are telling her how strange she is, that she's different. She said that the Muslim friends that she have are all looking at her in a different way. Like there's something wrong with her because she prays the way she prays. She dresses the way she dresses. She behaves the way she behaves, and they're like, "What's going on with you?" And she says, "Oh, I'm happy." She says she tells her friends, "I've never been this happy and this confident in my life before," because she said that she understands the religion now. She understands not only how to perform the prayers, but why we perform them, and not only does she understand why we have to fast for Ramadan, but why we should fast during Ramadan. And so all the questions that she had about why have disappeared from her heart. And she said, it's now how can I do it? And the other Muslims around her are telling her, oh, I'm worried about you. I think you're becoming a fanatic. Oh, you're becoming an extremist. Oh, no, maybe you're learning from the wrong person. And she said, it doesn't make sense. She said, Sister Laila, I've been around those Muslims since I've been Muslim. They've never taught me anything. In fact, the things that they did teach me were wrong. They've told me things about Allah that's not true, about the prophet that's not true, about the religion that's not true. And I've always had questions in my heart. And now that the questions have been removed, all the doubts have been removed, all the suspicions are removed, they're telling me that I'm fanatic. I told her, well, welcome to the real world. I said, we're living in the days of fitan, the days in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that religion will become strange. Okay? For those of us, those few people who do practice the religion the correct way, will be looked at as fanatics, will be looked at as strange and crazy. Whereas the people who are upon a way other than what the Prophet Muhammad was upon, what those original companions were upon, they think that they are the norm. I told her, so welcome to the straight path, because I told her, people think I'm crazy too. People think that I'm fanatic too. People think that I'm rough and tough and hill cowboy crazy when I'm just a regular Muslim trying to live my life the way Allah commanded and trying to call people to the correct understanding. That's all. I said, so, I told her, you're going to have to just put those people aside, brush it off like I do. Just brush it off, keep it moving. Life is too short, it's all, and I told her to look at it like a compliment. When people come to you and tell you, wow, you're different, I'm worried about you. Maybe you're a fanatic. I'm a fanatic because I pray my prayers every day, that I'm not skipping prayers like I used to be. Because like she said before she started coming to these classes that I teach, learning, why and how, she didn't make her prayers every day. She said, I used to skip them all the time. But now that I'm praying them all the time, I'm a fanatic. She said, before I started coming to your classes to learn the religion, I didn't wear hijab. She said, I never wore hijab, period. Didn't care about wearing one because I was told by my Muslim friends I didn't have to, that I take baby steps. She said, but now that I'm wearing a hijab and I'm covering up my body, she says she wears abayas, she's a fanatic. So I told her, well, this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about, the days of fitan, when the truth appears to be falsehood appears to be the truth. Okay, the people of knowledge, we're looked at as being ignorant and uneducated, whereas the people who have no knowledge, no understanding of this deen are called muftis and scholars. So, welcome to Surat al-Mustaqim, So, and that's what I want to share that with all of you, because she's a new Shahada. She's been Muslim, she said, for about a year. And she's been Muslim for a year, and she's never understood this religion before, never understood her purpose before. She was told so much garbage that's not true about this religion. You may experience that too. And just, you have to have that certainty of faith, that yaqeen that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks about in so many hadiths. Like he told, one of the companions came to him and said, oh Prophet, give me some advice that'll stay with me to the day I die, the best advice that I can only get from you. He said, the Prophet said, the best advice I can give you is to not just say you believe in Allah, but have certainty of faith too. Have certainty of what you believe in. And this is true. And that's what I tell all of my new shahadas here. Don't just say you're a Muslim. Don't just say that you believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Have certainty of it, because you're going to find that most Muslims that are not upon the right belief system. You're going to find that most Muslims that are not practicing correctly. You're going to find that most Muslims don't understand the basics. If you were to ask them the pillars of the wudu, they're going to look at you like, oh, you're a fanatic. There's no such thing. If you ask them the pillars of the salat, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Or even if you ask them to tell you what are what are the articles of faith and the pillars of faith, they're going to mix them up. They're going to not be able to name them all correctly. I do that test here all the time, and you guys see every time I ask that question, people get it all messed up. So welcome to Surat al-Mustaqim, the straight path. and just have that certainty of faith. Everything that you guys are learning here at this website, it's not based on a method. I'm not using no school of thoughts. I'm not teaching you from no book written by nobody. I'm teaching you directly from the authentic Quran and the authentic hadiths. Okay. And so tonight, what I'm going to do, this is our class on the prayer. And the last time we met for this class, which was Monday, we went over what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions had to say about shortening the prayer. And again, I'm not teaching you from a book of methods. I'm not teaching you from a book written by Sheikh so-and-so. This is taken directly. These hadiths are taken directly from the authentic sources, Bukhari, Muslim, etc. Mostly Bukhari and Muslim, because I try to stick with them with you guys, so that way no one can come and try to challenge me. Okay? And many of you were surprised to learn about shortening the prayer. Many of you were surprised to see what the companions said about distance, what the companions said about how long. A lot of you were really shocked at that. How long can we shorten our prayers when we travel? So tonight we're going to speak about combining, and you're going to be equally shocked. You're going to realize that a lot of these fatwas that you read on the internet, I don't know where they get the information from. I really don't. But you're going to realize that a lot of the fatwas about combining and shortening prayers are not based on what the companions said. The companions didn't have that understanding. So you're going to be shocked tonight too. And I have all the authentic sources there. But anyway, let's get started. Let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. What is it, brother? Okay, the brother here said, may Allah bless you, Sister Laila. I really love how you keep the religion simple, how you keep the religion clear. Your delivery is on key. You know how to waken the heart. May Allah bless you, brother. He said, and thank you for giving us the hadith and the sources instead of reading, like you said, from a book written by someone else. Okay, yeah. Well, mashallah. May Allah bless you too, brother. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I try to, this is how I've always taught. This is how I was trained to teach. I've been teaching Islam for over 50 years. I've never taught from a madhab. I've never belonged to a madhab. I never belonged to a school of thought. I don't follow a school of thought. Everything my belief is based on what the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. And when it comes to understanding my religion, I look at the understanding that the companions had, the originals. I don't even go past the first generation. Very rarely will you ever hear me use a companion from the second or third. I'm usually on point or on key, as you said, with the first generation. But anyway, let's put the PowerPoint up. And I want you guys to be the same way too. Okay? All right, so here we go. All right, inshallah, they can see that. Okay, let me put this down. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, I'm gonna make this screen larger. Okay, y'all can see in the other Zoom room too, right? Let me put this here. Y'all can still see me, right? Okay. All right, so tonight, inshallah, we're going to speak about combining two prayers. Oh, hold on for a second, guys. Wait a minute, I lost it. Okay, I'm coming in. That I came out of that other Zoom room. I'm sorry. I got confused. Okay, let me come back in. Hold on. All right. Oh God, I don't know what I did. Give me a second, guys. Inshallah. Here I come. Okay. Am I in there? Yeah, there I am. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. Okay, it's just hard working all these phones and tablets and stuff. Okay, so tonight we're gonna review combining the two prayers. And before I get into that, I want to just ask you a couple of questions just to make sure that everyone understands the hadiths that we went over, because again, our understanding of this religion is supposed to be as those original companions. When it comes to matters of worship, when it comes to matters of belief, everything should, our understanding of those issues should be as the original companions. If it's not, then something's wrong with us. We're not upon the correct understanding. So let's look at this first question here. And we talked about it. How far of a distance is mentioned by Allah or the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for one to travel in order to shorten his or her prayers? Again, and the reason why I asked this question is because only Allah and the Prophet Muhammad have the authority to make the laws and rules for us to abide by, not the scholars. Everybody claims that they are a scholar today. Everybody claims to be people who are muftis. Nobody has that authority but Allah and the Prophet. Unless you are Allah, which you ain't, or the Prophet Muhammad, which you ain't, you don't have the authority to make laws for us. So, who can tell me how far of a distance is mentioned by Allah or by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that a person must travel in order to be able to shorten their prayers? Who can answer that? No questions on YouTube? What about Facebook? Do I have any people? Where are Laila Nasheeba's so-called students? Where's my Zoom students at? Is there anybody in that Zoom room? Yeah, my students, I don't know where they been, man. They partying. I don't know. Do any of Layla's Nasheeba students in that Zoom room know? How far of a distance is mentioned by Allah or the Prophet to travel in order to shorten? Okay, some of the answers I have here on social media. Brother Amir, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Amir. Brother Amir says longer than 1 mile is mentioned by Allah or the Prophet. Sister Carol, mashallah, she said 1 mile or more. And Aya said 1 to 3 miles. Go ahead, Zoom.
1 mile, I agree with the first two people. Should be 1 mile over. Yeah.
Okay. Any other answers before I give the correct answer? None of your answers are correct. Can anybody figure out why all your answers are wrong? The question is, how far of a distance is mentioned by Allah or by the Prophet that you have to travel to shorten the prayers? The correct answer is Allah doesn't mention a distance at all. We went over that verse yesterday. Remember, Allah just says when you travel, you can shorten your prayers. Okay? And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't mention a certain distance either. So that's the first point that I made yesterday. I want you guys to know no one has the authority to make laws or rules for us other than Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And neither one of them mentioned a distance. This is point number one. So, and the reason I made this point is because nowadays we're living in the days of fitan, where the religion has become strange, where you have a lot of ruwaybida. Who are the ruwaybida? These are the men and women that call themselves people of knowledge, and they don't know nothing. They got a lot to say about politics, a lot to say about this, a lot to say about that. But if you were to ask them how far of a distance is mentioned by Allah or the Prophet to travel and shorten, they don't know. They'll say anything but accept the truth that they don't know, which is Allah doesn't give us a distance. Neither did the Prophet. And again, this is the hikmah of Allah. Allah did not make this religion hard on any of us. Allah didn't give us a distance because he knows that everyone's situation is different. No one understands the creation better than the creator. Again, this falls under Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Most Muslims today do not understand the lordship of Allah. Okay? So they didn't give us a distance, not Allah and not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now let's go to the second question. Second question. What? I hope I got some moderators around. If I don't, I'm going to be so angry. Okay. What is the least amount of distance mentioned by the companions that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was known to shorten his prayers?
Oh, that's where the mile comes in. Okay. That's my answer.
So what is your answer?
One is more than a mile.
Okay, Anissa said more than a mile. Any other answers?
I said anytime you leave your place of residence, as far as in that you do not live there.
Okay, who said that? Remember, look at the question. What is the least amount of distance mentioned by the companions that the Prophet was known to shorten his prayers? I went over so many hadiths yesterday, about 20 of them, where you had different companions telling you what they witnessed, how far they traveled, and they witnessed the Prophet shortening. What was the least amount of distance? Okay, Carol said 1 mile. Any other answers? Okay, Carol and Anissa, you are correct. The least distance that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was seen to travel and shorten his prayers was 1 mile. Remember that authentic hadith? That's a Sahih Bukhari hadith. In fact, the companion who narrated it, he said the Prophet, the reason he said he never saw the Prophet shorten his prayer, and I think this was Anas who was like the stepson to the Prophet. Anas said he never saw the Prophet shorten his prayer less than 1 mile. He said because the Prophet used to do what? Who can remember? What did he do that was less than a mile? And he didn't shorten his prayer when he did it. Can y'all remember that hadith? You people are going to have to memorize these hadiths when I give them to you. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck on stupid. Okay, anybody remember that hadith? That's the last hadith we went over. And I told you guys never forget it. Good job, Aya. The Anas tells us that the least amount of distance that he saw the prophet, that he witnessed the prophet to shorten the prayers was 1 mile. He said because the prophet used to visit the cemetery, El Baqi. Y'all remember that hadith now? And he would also go to answer the call of nature. And to do those things was less than a mile. He said he never saw the prophet come shorten when he went to answer the call of nature. He never saw the prophet shorten when he went to the cemetery. But if the prophet traveled a mile away from his home, he would shorten. Y'all have to remember these hadiths. Until you people remember the hadiths, you're gonna be twisted. You're not gonna have the certainty of faith. You're gonna get easily confused by people because madhabs have their own different views on this stuff. Madhabs tell you gotta travel a certain distance. When the prophet never said that. Allah never said that. But the companions had different things to say about it because of what they witnessed. 1 mile, some witnessed him traveling 3 miles, some witnessed him traveling 5 miles, but the most authentic hadith, which is the least amount of distance, is 1 mile from Anas, I believe, radiyallahu anha. Any questions on this answer? Is this answer clear to you all? Mina, will you make yourself remember that hadith this time?
Yeah, I remember, but I was thinking about the companion that had left, and he had said his prayers before, but I got it mixed up. But
I wanted to know. We went over about 20 hadiths. I wanted to know the least distance. The question was the least distance. And the least distance, you can find hadith saying all kind of miles, but the least mile was 1 mile. And he said he never, because the cemetery and the place where they used the bathroom was less than a mile, and he never shortened then. Exactly. Good job, Aya. Aya, you did a good job. You remembered the hadith. You guys got to remember these hadiths. Otherwise, you're going to always be picked on, abused by these Mathabians. Because the Mathabians got different views on that stuff. All right, let's look at the next question. According to the companions, and the reason why I'm saying according to the companions, because again, Allah didn't give us a distance. The Prophet Muhammad didn't give us a distance. Okay? Allah left it open because we all have different situations. And I'm going to talk about that today because a person can shorten and combine based on different situations. Okay? But the understanding that we have based on the companions is what we want to stick to because they were with the prophet. And this is what they use after he died. You know, when they would travel, they would remember, well, he used to combine just 1 mile. So I can combine 2, or I can shorten 2. And that's how we should think. So, according to the companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how long can a traveling person continue to I meant to say shorten. I put combine there, but it should be shorten. Scratch the word combine out, guys. That should be shorten. Because I got confused doing the PowerPoint. According to the companions of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how long can a traveling person continue to shorten his or her prayers? And again, Mathab's got all kind of answers. But whose answer is correct? The companions. So who can answer that? According to the companions of the Prophet, the originals. How long can a traveling person continue to to shorten his or her prayers?
According to the companions, those prayers can be shortened as long as that person is traveling and know that they're traveling. If they feel that they're not traveling, if they feel settled, then they can go ahead and make the regular salats. But as long as they are traveling, they can continue to shorten those prayers.
Okay, what do y'all think about her answer? Okay, same answer here. Aya says as long as he is a traveler. She says some of the companions travel for months, some even years. Exactly. We have Sa'id al-Khudri. Sa'id al-Khudri, when he traveled to Syria, he shortened his prayer for 2 years. The whole 2 years he was there. And Sa'id al-Khudri narrated more hadiths than anyone except for Aisha radiallahu anha and Abu Hurairah. He's the third most narrator. Okay, he's one of the eminent companions. He knows his deen better than you and me, better than the 4 Imams, better than Albani, better than Sheikh Morsi, better than Uthaymin. May Allah bless all them brothers. Those my dudes. They ain't here no more, unfortunately. Allah. Better than Ibn Taymiyyah, better than all of them. He did it for 2 years. As long as the person is not settled, as long as the person is not settled. And again, Allah didn't give us a time limit. Neither did the Prophet, because everybody's situation is different. You could be living out of a suitcase for 2 years. If your job sends you on an assignment, your job sends you overseas on an assignment, puts you up in a hotel. Living in a hotel is hard. You living out of a suitcase for 2 years so you can shorten your prayers the whole time. But now let's say that I go to stay with my sister. I go to the Emirates to stay with my sister for 2 years. I'm settled. I got my own suite. I'm settled. Okay, I can go ahead and start praying the whole prayer. Yes, Imam Ahmed was the one that said 4 days. That's what he said. Okay, but does Imam Ahmed, may Allah be pleased with him, does he out-trump Sa'id al-Khudri? No. Does he out-trump Ibn Abbas? Ibn Abbas said as long as the person's a traveler, even if it's for over 3-4 months. Ibn Umar, he shortened his prayer for 6 months. Ibn Umar traveled and shortened for 6 months. So does Imam Ahmed understand this deen better than Ibn Abbas? Better than Ibn Umar? Better than Sa'id al-Khudri? No. So this is what I'm saying, guys. When we learn the religion the correct way from the proper sources, which is the Quran, the authentic hadith, and we have to have the understanding of the companions, then you will see that Islam is beautiful. You will see that Islam is simple. Islam is easy. I have a brother here who's a new Shahada. He's going out the country. His job is sending him to Africa during the month of Ramadan. He's going to be in Africa for a whole month, staying in a hotel. And that's where this question came from. He said, Sister Laila, I'll be living in a hotel. out of my suitcase for a whole month. Can I shorten my prayers? Yes. SubhanAllah, you're not settled. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. You have to be careful who you take your knowledge of Islam from. And a lot of the new shahadas are telling me that because everything is clicking, everything is making sense, the Muslims around them who don't know the religion correctly are calling them fanatic, telling them, oh, you're learning from the wrong person. No, you're learning from the right person. They learned from the wrong person. Don't let these people intimidate you. That's why I tell y'all, take screenshots of those hadiths. And when I put all those hadiths up yesterday, y'all were supposed to screenshot them and print them out and memorize them. And I always put the source with them. And only an idiot would call those hadiths not authentic. All right? Because they all came from Bukhari and Muslim. All right? Okay, now, tonight we're going to get to another shocker for the Mathabians. We're going to speak about combining. When can I combine my prayers? Big question. It comes up all the time. Also, Ramadan is coming up. End of this week. A lot of you may find yourself in a situation where you have to combine your prayers. Not shorten, but you may fall in the category of being able to combine your prayers. And let's look at this. And I want you guys to take screenshots and print the PowerPoints out so you will have those hadiths. It is allowed for a person to combine. Wait, first let me do this. When we speak about combining the prayers, the only prayers we combine are Dhuhr and Asr. Listen to this. Dhuhr is combined with Asr. Or you can combine Maghrib with Isha. You cannot do Isha and Fajr together. Nope. You cannot do Fajr and Dhuhr together. Nope. So what we're doing is we're combining Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha. Those are the prayers that are combined together. Okay, Fajr is always by itself. Remember that. Fajr is by itself. And we can combine under the following circumstances. And again, guys, the first circumstance, you may not have to worry about unless you make Hajj. All the scholars agree. That means all the companions, they all agree that you can combine the Dhuhr and Asr prayer at Arafat when making Hajj. And you can also combine Maghrib and Isha at Muzdalifah when you make Hajj. Because this is what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. So whenever you make Hajj, whoever your group leader is, he's going to probably do that. I know when I made Hajj, they did. We know the Dhuhr and Asr was done together at Arafat and the Isha and Maghrib together at Muzdalifah. Okay? And I want you guys to understand, you do not have to be a traveler. I repeat. You do not have to be a traveler. I repeat again. You do not have to be a traveler to combine your prayers. Okay? other circumstances may occur. And that's what we're going to talk about here. And if you are a traveler, like say, for example, I'm traveling out of town, like the brother's going to Africa, not only can he shorten his prayer while he's in Africa, but he can also combine them too. You understand, brother Bilal? When you go to Africa and you're staying in that hotel for your job, not only can you shorten the 4 rakat prayers, but you can also pray Dhuhr and Asr together. And you can also pray Maghrib and Isha together if you are a traveler as well. Now, here comes the Dalil. Muad, may Allah be pleased with him. He tells us that while the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was at Tabuk and the sun had passed the meridian, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam combined the Dhuhr and Asr prayers before he started his journey. So what does that tell you? Say, for example, I'm getting ready to travel. I'm traveling from my home to Latifa's home. Latifa lives an hour away from me. That's more than 1 mile, man. I don't live in her city. Her place of habit is not my residence. I can combine my Dhuhr and Asr before I leave my house, which is what I did. When I went to the dinner event that my other best friend had at her house, and she's an hour and a half away from me, I combined my Dhuhr and Asr. I prayed Dhuhr and Asr Saturday before I left. I combined them. And that's based right here on this hadith. The Prophet combined the Dhuhr and Asr prayers before he started his journey. Now, if he started his journey before the sun passed its meridian, he would delay the Dhuhr prayer until he stopped for the Asr. And he did likewise for the Maghrib. What does that mean? Not only can I pray Asr after with Dhuhr, but what I could have done, I could have waited till I got to my best friend's house and prayed Dhuhr with Asr. You guys understand that? When you're combining 2 prayers, I can pray them before I leave, which means I'm going to pray the prayer that's in first and then the one that comes after it with it, or I can wait till I get to my destination and then pray the first one and then the one that's in. Does everybody understand that? And this hadith is authentic. There's the source. Also another hadith. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, shall I not tell you of the prayer of the Prophet when he was traveling? He said, if the sun passed its meridian while he stopped, he would combine the Dhuhr and Asrs before moving on. But if the sun had not passed its meridian while he had stopped, he would travel until the time of the Asr prayer and then combine the Dhuhr and Asr. And if the sun set while he had stopped, he would combine the Maghrib and the Isha prayers. If that did not occur while he stopped, he would ride and combine the Isha time. This hadith is authentic. There's the sources. Take a screenshot of this PowerPoint. So you guys have these hadiths you can memorize and their correct sources. Okay? So if you're traveling On a journey, you can combine your prayers before you leave. You pray Dhuhr and Asr together, or you can wait till you get to your destination and pray Dhuhr and Asr together. The same with Maghrib and Isha. Any questions about that before I continue? Because this can get kind of confusing. Is this clear to everybody in the Zoom room?
Laila, when you combine them, you don't shorten them.
No, this is not short. Not in this case. This is not. If you can combine when you shorten too. If I'm a traveler, like say for example, I'm the brother that's gonna be in Africa. He's gonna be in Africa. Brother Bilal's gonna be there for a whole month for his job doing some communication stuff. Not only can he shorten Dhuhr and Asr, but he can also combine them together, pray them together. Now, remember the hadith that we went over yesterday. They said normally, the companions all said normally they did not shorten the prayer when they were at home. Okay? They would combine but not shorten, like me. If I'm going to travel from my house to Latifah's house, I'm not going to shorten because I'm a resident. I mean, I'm settled. But what I'm going to do is combine Dhuhr and Asr together. Now, if I got to Latifah's house, if something comes up and it's easier for me to shorten and combine, then I would do that. But I'm at home. There's no need for me to shorten a prayer when I'm in my house at home. Do you understand? Does that make sense? When I set out on my journey, I'm combining. I'm not shortening because I'm at home. But once I'm out in the streets and on the journey, I can shorten then because I'm not settled. I'm not at home. I'm a shorten and combine. Is that clear to everybody? And that's how the companions normally did it. They normally did not shorten when they were in there at home. They would do it on the road. Okay? Okay, Sister Aya, we don't pray the prayers together. You make Dhuhr and then you make Asr. Common sense. You call the Iqamet and make Dhuhr. When you're done with Dhuhr, you call the Iqamet and make Asr. Because Asr and Dhuhr is not one prayer. They're two different prayers. Everybody understand that? I'm going to call the Iqamet and make my Maghrib. Then when I'm done with Maghrib, I'm going to call the Iqamet and make my Isha. Everybody understand? Brother Amir, if I travel across the world and need to adjust to the time. Well, if you miss Fajr because you were sleeping, that's a different scenario. You make Fajr as soon as you wake up, but you're not combining Fajr with no prayers. You understand? If you wake up and it's time for Dhuhr, but you overslept for Fajr, you're going to make Fajr first, and then you're going to call the Adhan and make Dhuhr, but that's not combining. That's missing a prayer because you were asleep. If you were not asleep, then you should have made Fajr at its proper time. Everybody understand that? Any other questions before I move on? The only excuse for not praying a prayer at its proper time is sleep or forgetfulness. If you were awake, why did you miss Fajr? Okay? If you were asleep and woke up, make Fajr first and then go make whatever prayer is in. Okay? So, everybody clear? I can move to the next point. All right, yes, let me do it one more time for you, Sister Melinda. I'm reading your question. Yes, exactly. So if you're going to be leaving Arlington, Texas, you're leaving Arlington, Texas, and you're traveling to Houston, Texas, you can combine your Dhuhr and Asr. You pray your 4 rakats Dhuhr, then you call the Iqamah and pray your 4 rakats Asr and leave. Then when you get to Houston, Texas, you can combine your Maghrib and your Isha. Exactly. Exactly. But don't shorten when you in the house to leave, because we went over that hadith. The companions didn't normally do that. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said we normally didn't do that. We normally didn't shorten while we were praying in the house at home. Okay? All right. Good job. Let's go to the next point. Y'all got your screenshots. Okay. So, traveling is one of the reasons in which a person is allowed to combine their prayers and also shorten. What about the rain? We have this hadith combining the Maghrib and the Isha prayer when it rains is a sunnah. This is what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would do. Imam Bukhari records that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam combined the Maghrib and Isha prayers on a rainy night. Does it have to just be rain? No. Anytime the weather is bad, so that the men don't have, cause praying at the mosque, performing your obligatory prayers at the mosque is an obligation for the men, not women. Men are supposed to pray all 5 of their prayers at the mosque. So if there's a blizzard, say it's snowing real bad, the imam can combine the prayers. He can combine the prayers so the brothers don't have to worry about trying to come in that snowstorm back to the mosque. Okay? Yes, it can be Dhuhr and Asr. Again, it's a storm. It's a snowstorm, or it's a rainstorm, or it's a hurricane. The imam can combine Dhuhr with Asr. So that way the brothers don't have to worry about coming back. Or Maghrib with Isha due to the weather. So that's another reason for combining bad weather. Okay? Now, this is what the point I want to make with my sisters, elderly women here. You can also combine your prayers due to sickness. I had a sister text me on WhatsApp today, talking about how sick she is. She has the flu. She has type A flu, the same type my daughter got. Type A flu. This type A flu is supposed to be pretty bad. They say it's worse than COVID. She said, Sister Laila, I'm so delirious. I don't know if I prayed or not. What can I do? I told her, combine. You can combine Dhuhr with Asr. And you can combine Maghrib with Isha. And notice, I didn't say shorten. You're at home. You can combine, not shorten. There may be exceptions to the shorten too, but most of us don't really fall into that. Okay, but you can combine Dhuhr with Asr and Maghrib with Isha because of sickness. I did it too. And again, there's no time limit. It's all while you're sick. When I had my total knee replacement surgery, I combined my prayers for 6 months because I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand on that knee. And it was easier for me. So I did combining for 6 months when I had both of my knees done. I had total knee replacement in both knees. I combined my prayers for 6 months. Okay. You got the flu. You're sick for RSV. I got one sister here who's an elderly sister. She had RSV. RSV, you can die from that, man, if you elderly. I told her, combine all your prayers. So she combined for over a month with that RSV. See how Allah makes it easy for us. Allah makes this deen so easy. And where's the dalil? Well, here we go. I'm always going to give y'all the clear evidence. Hold on, let me go here so I can read it for myself. Again, whenever a person is going through an illness, because an illness is a hardship. It's a hardship just like the rain. You can combine your prayers. And here's the dalil, as Imam Nawawi put, this is the strongest opinion based on evidence. Also, we have this as evidence, the illness, which presents one to combine the prayers, is the one which would otherwise cause a hardship and more weakness, like RSV, like the flu. You get weaker. You're so weak. You got fever. Okay, COVID. You're feverish. You're weak. You can combine. Okay, combine your four rock, the Dhuhr with Asr and Maghrib with Isha. Okay. Also, and here it is from my elderly sisters too, not just a sickness, not just traveling. You can combine the two prayers due to any, I repeat, any pressing need. Let me share another example with you guys. Another one of my students called me on the WhatsApp today. She said, Sister Laila, I work 16-hour shifts. She said, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. And when I come home, if I make Dhuhr, I'm not going to wake up in time for Asr. She said, I keep missing Asr. I don't wake up to Isha. What can I do? I told her, combine, because your body is tired. You done pulled 16-hour shifts as a nurse. You're tired. So you can combine Dhuhr and Asr. And then when you wake up for Isha, do Maghrib and Isha. That's a pressing need. Listen to what Imam Nawawi wrote in Sahih Muslim. He said the majority of the scholars think that it is allowed for a person who is a resident to combine the prayers due to any pressing need. And this is based on the companions. Okay? So here's Ibn Abbas. Listen to what Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said. He said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam combined his prayer because he did not want to put his ummah to any hardship. And it was not because of an illness. He just did it because he wanted to make it easy for the people. This is Sahih Muslim. Ibn Abbas says the Prophet combined the Dhuhr and Asr prayer. And then he led the Maghrib and combined it with Isha in Medina. He said there was no rain, there was no danger. And then somebody said, well, why did he do it? He said he did it because he did not want a hardship for his people. We also have this from Sahih Muslim. One day, Ibn Abbas addressed the people after the Asr prayer until well after the sun had set and the stars appeared. The people said to him, oh, Ibn Abbas, the prayer. Ibn Abbas said, are you trying to teach me the Sunnah? He said, I saw the prophet combine Dur and Aser, and he combined Maghrib with Isha. And another companion said, I felt unsure about what he said. So I went to ask Abu Huraira for more clarification, and he said Ibn Abbas has spoken the truth. So the prophet was given a lecture one day, like Ibn Abbas was doing. In fact, the lecture that the prophet was given, he was talking about the signs of the last hour. And he went on talking about the signs of the last hour, and he combined Maghrib with Isha. That's the hadith, and you'll find that in Bukhari. And this is what Ibn Abbas did, that's narrated here in Sahih Muslim. He was talking to the people about something important. And remember, Ibn Abbas was the governor. He was the governor of Medina. And he was telling the people something very important. And the people kept saying, the prayer. He said, we'll combine. I know the Sunnah. We'll combine because this is a pressing need. And for those of you who don't know, the pressing need was Ramadan. This is when Ibn Abbas was the governor over Medina. And this is after the fitna had emerged. The fitna, whereas the Kharijites were trying to, had killed Uthman. Okay? This is when Muawiyah had appointed himself as the Caliph of Syria. And they was talking about the moon, the sighting of the moon, because Muawiyah had sent the message saying that he had seen the moon for Ramadan. But Ibn Abbas decided to go with a local sighting because he knew if he had accepted Muawiyah's sighting, the people would have thought he was supporting him over Ali. So that's the conversation that Ibn Abbas was having with the people. And it was so important. He needed to explain why he was not going with a world sighting, while he was going with a local sighting. And by the way, he only did it that one time. What you Muslims are doing today, looking for local sightings, that is not from the Sunnah. And Ibn Abbas said, this is not from the Sunnah, but I'm going to do Ishtihad because I do not want you people to think that I am choosing Muawiyah over Ali. Because Ibn Abbas refused to take sides in that fitna. So that's the story behind that. A lot of people don't know that because you don't know the hadith. I do. So you can combine the two prayers due to a pressing need. So like the sister that called me today, she works 16 hours. And every time she works 16 hours, she misses 3 prayers combined. When you get home, do Dhuhr and Asr. Go to sleep. When you wake up for Isha, do Maghrib and Isha. Allah makes it easy for us. That's a pressing need. Okay? And finally, again, on the airplane, if you're traveling on an airplane, traveling on a ship, a train, a bus, you know, this is an inconvenience. That's a pressing need too. So you can pray. You can pray and combine your prayers on the plane. Combine your prayers on the boat, on the train. Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I asked the Prophet about prayer on a ship. He said, pray standing unless you fear that you will be drowned. Okay? As you guys know, we can't stand no more to pray thanks to the terrorists of 9/11. You stand up, you going down. You ain't got to worry about the ship taking you down. If Layla's sitting there, she gonna take you down. I ain't gonna be blown up. Okay? We got crazy people. And also we have this hadith where another companion says, I accompanied Jabir ibn Abdullah and Sa'id al-Khudri and Abu Hurairah on a boat. They prayed standing in congregation with one of them as their imam, although they could have gone to shore if they wanted to. Okay, so I just threw that in there too. Hello. So that's all that we have from the companions about combining and shortening the prayers. Combining if you're sick, combining due to the weather, combining due to any type of pressing need. I worked overtime, I'm too tired, can't stay awake, let me combine. Doctors combine. Oh yes, a doctor has surgery, he's scheduled to be in surgery. He's going to be in surgery for 8 hours or 4 hours or 2 hours and miss a prayer. The doctor can combine his prayers. The nurse too. You're a nurse. You have to work a floor. And you understaffed. You don't have it's only 2 of you dealing with 100 patients. You can combine your Dhuhr and Asr. You can combine your Maghrib and Isha. Allah made it easy for us. There's no excuse. To be honest, there's no excuse for any of us to not perform our prayers. People that don't pray, these are people who, number one, don't understand the virtues of praying. Number two, they don't know the ease in doing it. All right? Okay. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. And yes, it's easy because you're learning it from the companions. This is much more easier than those book of methabs, isn't it? Imam so-and-so says, Sheikh so-and-so says, Sheikh Kamadam, all that stuff is confusing as heck. No, plain and simple, what the companions said. All right, okay. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Any questions or comments? Is that clear in the Zoom room with the old ladies?
Yep.
Fresno, is it clear with you two? Everybody?
Yeah, I just kind of I was trying to figure out why would you do it, but then you explained it at the end. And then if you at home, you wouldn't shorten them. You would just combine. Do the regular one and then do the other regular one.
Yeah, because what's the point? I mean, some people, like I said, there's exceptions to everything. Some people that are sick, I know some people I knew this Muslim man who was paralyzed. All he could do was lay on his back. He couldn't raise his hands. He has to pray in his mind. And sometimes he would shorten because his mind couldn't remember. I mean, there's exceptions, but not for those of us, like the companions said, just combining is easy enough. It is so easy to combine, shortening. It makes sense when you're traveling, man, this is girl, please, let me get these 2 rakats done. I don't know who's walking up on me. It's a protection too. You're shortening your prayer so you can be alert to where you are. Who's coming in here? Who's that? Who's that? Okay, you're at home. You're in the safety of your home. So combining is sufficient. It makes sense. Brother Amir says, I want to say thank you. MashaAllah. Like I said, I try to make it simple for you guys. A lot of people make this stuff so hard. And the scholars said, I don't care what the scholars had to say. Don't none of them out-trump these companions. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that. That stuff is crazy. Okay? These are the scholars. These are the original scholars. These are the best scholars. These are it. Allah says that. Allah says they are the best. So why do I need to hear somebody else's opinion? I don't need nobody's opinion. I got what these companions said. Yeah. And that's easy. That's so much more easier, guys. Yes, exactly. The sister here says she suffers with bipolarism. Yes, exactly. Okay, this sister here says she suffers with bipolarism. And when they adjust her medicines, a lot of times when her medicine is adjusted, she has to combine because her mind is trying to get back centered and she don't remember if she prayed or not. Yeah, you combine, exactly. See the ease in that. And by the way, don't fast. You're bipolar. Do not, I repeat, do not, I repeat, do not attempt to fast. You fall in the category of the ransom, sister, because if you try to fast with your bipolarism, it's going to throw your chemicals, your brain chemicals off. You're going to be back to square one. Don't even try to fast. You pay the ransom. See how easy? Yeah, Islam. When you learn from the Sunnah, when you learn from the Hadiths, everything is different. Yeah. All right, guys, tomorrow is Thursday, and I want to remind everybody Dr. McBride will be here tomorrow. He's going to be speaking about the human brain, and how it responds to fasting and how it responds to religion. Let me show the commercial for his lecture tomorrow. His lecture will be at 6:15. Let me play his commercial here. I got it here somewhere. Here it is. The human brain is a marvel of creation, intricately designed to seek meaning and connection. During Ramadan, this quest for spiritual fulfillment is heightened. Fasting activates areas of the brain that are associated with empathy, self-control, and reflection. Join us this Thursday at 6:15 p.m. for an enlightening lecture by Dr. Daniel Abdulrahman McBride on the fascinating connection between the brain, religion, and Ramadan. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. Please share that on your social media because, I mean, good gosh, Ramadan is the month of change. It's the month of new beginnings for ourselves. You know, we need to really work on bettering ourselves spiritually with Allah and with ourselves. So we learning about the brain, the right brain, the self-serving left brain. You know, this is great. So please, guys, be here tomorrow at 6:15 for Dr. Daniel Abdul Rahman's class. I mean, he's a good doctor. I mean, he's given us so much time, you know, uh, and there's so much valuable information on how to better ourselves spiritually because the brain is connected to the heart. Subhanallah. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please share my videos. Go to the SunnahFollowers, the YouTube channel. Click on the shorts. Share those shorts and the videos with everybody you know so we can try to get more Muslims in here to learn Islam and its truthfulness with the proper understanding, which is that of the companions, okay? And please support this dawah effort. If you enjoy learning Islam and its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions, please support us, okay? We are a nonprofit organization. We are an Islamic school, and everything is free on the internet. You can Zelle us, Cash App us, or you can PayPal us. All right. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum. Everybody have a good night.